Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump's contentious nominee for U.S. Secretary of Defense, faced a Senate confirmation hearing today amid intense scrutiny over allegations of sexual assault, excessive alcohol consumption, and financial misconduct. Hegseth, a former Fox News weekend host, must secure near unanimous support from Senate Republicans, as any loss of more than 3 votes could jeopardize his confirmation if all Democrats oppose him. Several Republican senators have expressed reservations about Hegseth's personal history and his controversial views on women in the military.
Since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature?
No, Senator.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement relating to this kind of conduct?
Senator, I was falsely accused in October of 2017. It was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared.
I don't think completely cleared is accurate, but the fact is that your own lawyer said that you entered into an NDA and paid a person who accused you of raping her a sum of money to make sure that she did not file a complaint.
Senator Roger Wicker, Republican chair of the Senate Armed Services Committee, addressed the criticism in his opening remarks, acknowledging Hegseth as an unconventional choice, but praising him as an excellent candidate to challenge the unacceptable status quo. Mr. Hegseth has admitted to falling short, as we all do, Wicker stated. It is noteworthy that many accusations against Mr. Hegseth come from anonymous sources, contrasting with the numerous public letters of support and commendation he has received. That is untrue. Much of the hearing appeared to be a sham, with MAGA Republicans leading with softball questions and building Hegseth up while ignoring or whitewashing his failures and criticisms, of which there are many.
Do you know that being drunk at work is prohibited for service members under the UCMJ?
Senator, those
Yes or
are
no?
multiple false anonymous reports peddled by NBC
Do you
News
know that
run directly
drinking on the job
contradictory
is
to the dozens of men and women at
not
Fox News
contemplated
Channel
and
who I work with
I'm
who
not
came
hearing
on
the
the
answer
record.
to my question.
Hegseth's past includes a 2017 accusation of sexual assault, detailed in a police report alleging he blocked a woman from leaving a hotel room and took her phone. While Hegseth denies the allegations, his lawyer acknowledged that the woman did receive a settlement. A New Yorker report added further controversy, outlining claims of excessive intoxication at work events, requiring colleagues' assistance to get home, and alleged misuse of funds from Concerned Veterans for America, a non-profit that Hegseth once led, for personal expenses. Compounding his troubles, Hegseth has faced backlash for suggesting women should not serve in combat roles and for labeling the inclusion of gay troops as part of a Marxist agenda. In his opening statement, Hegseth framed himself as a change agent with military experience ready to lead the Pentagon in a new direction, despite having no experience leading a large organization at any level, let alone a senior one. It is true I don't share the typical resume of defense secretaries over the past 30 years, but as President Trump told me, we've tried retired generals, academics, and defense contractors. Where has that gotten us? Hegseth argued. It's time to put someone with dust on his boots at the helm. Hegseth, an Army National Guard veteran, has the words Deuce Volt tattooed on his bicep, which has been associated with white supremacist groups. Deuce Volt is a Latin phrase meaning God wills it, and was a rallying cry for Christian crusaders in the Middle Ages. The tattoo previously resulted in Hegseth being flagged as a possible insider threat by a fellow service member and as an extremist by all common definitions. Olivia Troy, former White House Homeland Security and counterterrorism advisor, said the mark should disqualify Hegseth from consideration for the position. Pete Hegseth's tattoos are the ones that white nationalists get, she wrote. Protesters repeatedly interrupted Hegseth's testimony, with one labeling him a Christian Zionist over his support for the war in Gaza. Capitol Police quickly removed the demonstrators from the hearing room, and despite the controversies, key Senate Republicans remain optimistic about Hegseth's confirmation. Senate Majority Leader John Thune reportedly assured Trump that Hegseth has enough support to be confirmed. However, Senator Jack Reed, the top Democrat on the Armed Services Committee, remained unconvinced, stating, "Mr. Hegseth, I do not believe you are qualified to meet the overwhelming demands of this role. Your writings and alleged conduct would disqualify any service member from military leadership, let alone confirmation, as Secretary of Defense." Multiple Democrats on the committee, including Tim Kaine of Virginia, reminded Hegseth that the allegations against him extended beyond anonymous accounts. His mother, Penelope Hegseth, once described him as an abuser of women, a characterization she has since rejected. "You claim that this was all anonymous. We've seen records with names attached to all of these, including the name of your own mother," Kaine said. "So don't make this into some anonymous press thing. We have seen multiple names of colleagues consistently throughout your career that have talked about your abusive actions." Senator Elizabeth Warren also expressed deep concerns in a 33-page letter to Hegseth, posing 72 questions about his history and views. "Your confirmation would undermine our national security and disrespect the diverse service members who sacrifice for our country," Warren wrote.
Would you carry out an order from President Trump to seize Greenland, a territory of our NATO ally Denmark, by force? Or would you comply with an order to take over the Panama Canal?
Senator, I will emphasize that President Trump received 77 million votes to be the lawful commander-in-chief of this country.
We're not talking about the election. My question is, would you use our military to take over Greenland or an ally of Denmark?
Senator, one of the things that President Trump is so good at is never strategically tipping his hand. And so I would never in this public forum give one way or another direct what orders the president would give me in any context.
That sounds to me that you would contemplate carrying out such an order to basically invade Greenland.
Democrats broadly criticize Republicans for rushing confirmation hearings, accusing them of trying to obscure details about Trump's cabinet picks. The Democratic ranking member Jack Reed said the FBI's report into Pete Hegseth's background was insufficient and wants to have it shared with all lawmakers on the Armed Services Committee. "You and I have both seen the FBI background investigation into Mr. Hegseth, and I want to say, for the record, I believe the investigation was insufficient. Frankly, there are still FBI obligations to talk to people that they have not had access to," Reed said. Hegseth refused to deny that he wouldn't take Greenland or the Panama Canal by military force or to make Canada the 51st state, saying that Trump had a mandate of 70 million votes and would follow orders. While Democrats expressed serious concerns about Hegseth's leadership, several Republicans on the committee filled their allotted time with irrelevant questions like what he loved about his wife and how many push-ups he could do. Several of Trump's inexperienced or unsuitable cabinet nominees are set to appear before Senate committees in the coming days, ahead of his inauguration on Monday. I'm Anthony Davis. You can find me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel and podcast, on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on the Weekend Show with Midas Touch.